Two people are recovering this morning after a shocking knife attack. One of the victims, a 1-year-old baby. It's been really cold, and I think it's going to get even worse later on in the week.
Yes, and if you thought yesterday was bad, just know that was probably the best day we'll see all week long.
So I should have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good evening, Jenny. So I'm here in Dodge County, in Ames, actually. And if you guys take a good look behind me, you can see that there is water still coming over the road here.
I'm Sydney Gray. Courtney is off this morning. Today is Friday, November 1st. We'll have a look at this morning's top stories in just a moment, but first we got to get right to the weather. It's been cold all week. Bundle up. Make sure you've got your coat, your hat, your gloves, your scarf, and make sure that the clothing isn't too tight. That way you don't start sweating and you end up with the shirt that's freezing cold like that. The question of what happens to floodwaters if they freeze into next spring is a growing concern.
Have you ever seen a glove quite like this?
Good morning, Courtney and Maya. So as you mentioned, I'm here in Bellevue off 30th and Sandra in this neighborhood, and police responded. They responded to the call just before midnight here. Now it is still an active scene.
In Hamilton, one of the most famous shows on Broadway, coming to Omaha in September. Going to be tons of people wanting to see this show, and some people got here as early as 4:40 in the morning just to get the ticket.
Oh my goodness, I see all that pink on the map. Oh, it's so cold today.
And the police presence has cleared up a bit, but as you guys can see, some officers are still on scene as they investigate what happened at this home.
Retired U.S. General Don Bacon spoke out about the Iranian attacks last night. Bacon tweeted, "We should take time to assess their attacks and impacts. No longer are we going to ignore Iran killing Americans." A Westside Elementary School teacher is on administrative leave after being arrested in connection to a child porn investigation. Health officials are warning people to get their flu shots early. Reporter John Madden spoke with local doctors who tell us which group of people are at the highest risk of getting the flu. Halloween went up in smoke for one Council Bluffs family when someone stole their prized decoration. The power of social media and good neighbors made sure they didn't get away with it.
Students in Denison, Iowa say they want to see action from the school district. It all stems from allegations that a teacher said the N-word multiple times in a classroom. This morning, students who say they've had enough walked out. 3 News Now reporter Sydney Gray went to Denison and has the story.
It's unfair. DHS is unfair. DHS is unfair. DHS is unfair.
They don't do anything about it. That's why they're all mad. You know, that's why I'm mad. There's nothing ever done about it.
Freshman Wilnice Ryfin says events leading up to this student protest have frustrated her classmates for a while.
We're hoping to have our voices heard and to have Miss Holt out of here.
Students say they're upset with American history teacher Crystal Holt. They say she used the N-word during a history lesson about the death penalty. She explained her use of the word to a local radio station in an interview that was shared by her husband, Iowa State Representative Stephen Holt, on Facebook.
The case deals with racism, and I asked why they put hate crimes on their board, and one of the students said because in the reading it says he used pejorative terms. And another student in that group said, "What does pejorative mean?" And I said, "It means derogatory." And the student said, "What does derogatory mean?" And I said, "It means terms that are not nice to race," and continued trying to explain that. And I said he used the N-word, and then I said he used the word.
Students say they don't think she needed to use it, that they understood without the word.
I get like, oh, it was like context, but you could have said the N-word. You didn't have to say with a hard ER.
Students from all grades walked out in protest of the situation. They say this isn't the first time it's happened.
All I've known is that she has said this racial slur back in the past, and in a few months, she's repeated herself for several years.
She has done this multiple times in multiple different places.
Anna Navarro was one of the first to walk out.
It's 2019, almost 2020. We should have gotten rid of this a while ago. It just keeps happening. We don't want that in the U.S.
Some want Holt gone.
She should be fired because she had no right to say that.
The school's principal and superintendent eventually came out and spoke with students.
Let's go find a time that we can talk, and let's start the healing process and start moving us forward.
Ryfin says the word hurts.
You know, you feel really small whenever you're here because you're just, that one black girl in the class. I can say the N-word to you, because you're the only black girl. Let me say the N-word to you. So it makes me feel great, Yeah. There's so many people willing to stand up for it.
But despite the division the word creates, Ryfin says her classmates' support empowered her.
I feel inspired, I feel like I can finally stand up to like stand up for myself.
In Denison, Iowa, Sydney Gray, 3 News Now. It's been several days since the floodwater has gone down here in North Bend, but the work for community and business owners out here is just beginning. Sean Jewell's home wasn't affected by the floods, but that wasn't the case here.
Right away you could tell the door was caved in on the end, and we had about 18 inches of water, so we knew that it was bad.
His small business was ruined.
All the lower end of the drywall got ruined there. Some stuff had floated around and pulled monitors off of the desks. Computer towers, it was 2.5 foot deep on the computer towers, and of course they were underwater.
And to make matters worse, Sean had just begun construction to add more office space.
It's rough, yeah. You know, the emotions are up and down.
Schools are closed, and a once busy business district now sits empty. There are even more issues. Sewer and water systems are still offline.
You cannot flush your toilets. You cannot put anything down the drain in the house. Anything you put down a drain is going to come back up in your neighbor's house.
Public Information Officer Nathan Arneal says it could be another 24 hours until they know if the water is safe to drink. And with the possibility of more rain later in the week, the city isn't in the clear just yet.
So we're asking people and businesses to hang on, don't start throwing away your sandbags yet. Keep them in place, because you don't know what the next couple of days are going to bring.
The city is now asking for volunteers to come here and help in any way they can. If you want to bring a donation, you can drop them off right here at the school. Reporting in North Bend, Sydney Gray, 3 News Now.